WNYC has a new podcast for kids called This Podcast Has Fleas. What happens when rival pets have dueling podcasts? Find out as Jones, a slick cat with a taste for autotune, played by Jay Farrow, faces off with Waffles, a dog who can't help chewing a microphone, played by Emily Lynn. This comedy series for kids features original music and a cast of household pets, including Benny the Gerbil, played by Eugene Merman, and the sage-like goldfish, Mr. Glub, played by Alec Baldwin. In each episode of This Podcast Has Fleas, Waffles and Jones navigate a daily drama, such as a chaotic sleepover party, a trip to the vet, and the dreaded cone of shame. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Just a reminder to check out Dr. Game Show on Earwolf. In each episode, hosts Joe Firestone and Manolo Moreno play listener-created games with their comedian friends and listener call-ins. They'll play games like What's Your Primary Utensil?, Rad Dad, and Sauce Boss. There's really no way an ad can even express how crazy and funny this show is. You have to hear it. Listen and subscribe to Dr. Game Show on Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen. And follow Dr. Game Show on Facebook and Twitter so you can participate when they record episodes. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Do you know that I'm glad you're here? Do you know it now? I haven't actually said I'm glad you're here. I just asked you a question that implied that I am. But I am glad you're here. Listen, I worry sometimes that if people aren't listening to this, I don't exist. Like I'm in a cold place, cold void, cold dark void. And I'm just waiting to be listened to so that I can be alive. Now, I know that sounds very sad, but it's actually not that bad. I'm one of those people that's like, I love sweater weather. Can always put another sweater on. In the summer, it gets hot. There's only so many clothes you can take off. That's when you, on a summer night, when it's so hot, and you take all of your clothes off and it's still hot, that's like, hey, what now? Am I going to peel my skin off like that Robbie Williams video? You should check that video out if you haven't seen it. It's very good. I think it really holds up. I mean, major spoiler just now in what I was talking about, but I think it'll still be effective. Unlike Robbie Williams' attempts to make it in the United States. He's huge in the UK. Why didn't it translate? What happened? Did we let Robbie Williams down? I feel like we did. Or was it Tea Party times? People were like, no, British stuff. I don't remember. I think it was before Tea Party times. Anyway, everything's almost over. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Spontaneanation with Paul F. Tompkins. I am the second part. This is a show where I invite a special guest onto the program to join me in a free-form conversation inspired by a blind question from our previous episode's guest. Then, I invite some improviser friends to join me in a narrative improv that is one continuous story as opposed to unconnected scenes, oftentimes utilizing details gleaned from my aforementioned conversation with the special guest. And it is all scored on piano by Mr. Eban Schletter. That's what he goes like. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a return guest here today. This gentleman has not been seen since our first, I want to say, not the first 10, maybe episode 14, something like that, going back quite a ways. Because he doesn't live here, ladies and gentlemen. He lives in another place. And I'm not a magic man. I'm just a regular. But this gentleman, he is an actor, an author, a humorist, a podcaster, and, that's right, a friend. His new book is called Vacation Land, or Vacationland, if you're fancy pants. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Spontaneation. John Hodgman. John, hello.
Thank you for magically summoning me back.
Now, John, I'm not a magic man.
Well, I don't understand how I have not been seen since the last time I was on this podcast.
No one has seen you?
No. Even my wife and children. I go in front of them and I'm like, I'm here, I'm your father. And they just go about their daily lives as though I'm not even there.
Do you think...
I have no substance or I guess I have no substance is what I wanted to say.
Yeah, that's enough. That's enough to not have.
That's right.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
Let's say your wife and your kids decided, like, okay, we're going to prank John.
Sure.
Let's pretend like we can't see or hear him. Okay.
Sure.
How long?
That sounds like something they would do.
How long? Well, this is a fun what if.
They're mischief makers.
This is not would they do this.
No,
this
okay.
is what if they did it.
Will they do it now that they hear this?
Exactly. How long before you physically touch someone to break their prank?
Oh.
Like grab somebody by the shoulders and say, hey, acknowledge me.
An eternity, of course. Because I would never touch them without affirmative consent. And because they are pretending not to see or hear me,
right.
I'd be like, daughter, son, wife, may I touch your shoulder to ascertain whether or not I have corporeal form or not?
That's right. And of course, if
And
they're committed to the bit, they're not going to. So it's the perfect crime, much like the icicle murder weapon.
Exactly so. Or the frozen leg of lamb.
But you have to count on hungry policemen.
Have you ever played that schoolyard game, frozen icicle, frozen leg of lamb?
That's right.
Meat bullet?
Yeah, meat bullet. You and your little childhood chums, you have to role play the perfect crime.
Yeah, it's like rock, paper, scissors, except they're all murder weapons that disappear.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Frozen leg of lamb.
Oh, frozen leg of lamb wins over meat bullet.
You would think meat bullet would win.
I know. There's really no explaining the meat bullet part at all. But you know what? Kids are dumb.
God, they're dumb.
They come up with dumb games.
Oh.
Hide and seek.
Elegant in its simplicity.
It is simple, and it's a great way. It's a great way to get rid of a kid you don't want to play with anymore.
That's the truth.
Paul.
John.
It's great to be here.
I'm glad you're here. I have a question for you.
Oh, yes.
This comes to us from our previous episode's guest. Mm-hmm. This question is, yeah, that's right. That's right. Get ready. Do your exercises.
Go.
All done. Do you know your neighbors or do you try to avoid them, and why?
Do I know my neighbors?
Yeah.
And do I try to avoid them, or why?
Do you know your neighbors or do you try to avoid them?
Oh.
And why?
Well, I should have gotten those prepositions correct.
Or you could know them and still try to avoid
Or
them.
conjunctions? Conjunctions.
Let's move on.
Right. Yes, we know our neighbors quite well. Mm-hmm. So, but the question is, which neighbors and which home? Because
that's right.
I own properties in a way that now everyone in the world is turning this off. I can't relate.
Maybe you shouldn't have said it in such a sinister way. I
own multiple dwellings, why I am practically a slumlord. Come enjoy my comedy.
Well, look, here's the thing. You're a grown-up, you're a successful grown-up, and so
I've had some
own
success.
More than one property.
And I definitely am no longer youthful. So
that's right. You're allowed to do this.
Yes. Those of you who are still with us for the white privilege comedy of John Hodgman, may I point out that I own two properties, two homes.
Right.
Our primary residence is in Brooklyn, New York.
That's right.
My secondary residence is the guest room at Paul F. Tompkins' house. And then we also spend some time in Maine, on coastal Maine, where we have neighbors there as well.
Right. Now, how close are those neighbors? Because I know in Brooklyn you have neighbors that are immediately
Well, I live in an apartment building,
you.
yes. And we're very good friends with our neighbors on our floor.
You do things for each other?
Or at least our end of our floor. Yes, we hold keys for each other. Our lives are very porous. Their children come in and out of our house. Our children come in and out of their house. Sometimes their children take our children's place for several weeks at a time as a childhood prank.
Yeah.
Kid
swap.
Classic kid swap.
Yeah.
They dress as each other and so forth. And we get along with all of our neighbors on our floor. There are a lot of new we've lived in that apartment building in Brooklyn unbelievably now for 10 years, which I don't know if you know.
Wow.
That's a decade.
Yeah.
And that I don't like how fast time is passing. And a lot of new people have moved in on the floors above us that I don't recognize at all. And when they pass me in the lobby of the building, I absolutely pretend like they are ghosts. I do not see them. I do not speak to them. And they do not touch me.
Right.
But yes, our neighbors on our floor are and it's part of why we enjoyed living in an apartment building so much, especially when our kids were younger, because they always had little playmates so they could run around with.
And in Maine, how close is your nearest neighbor?
We actually, it's pretty densely populated on our road in Maine. Our nearest neighbor, who he recently sold his house. His name is Terrence Generico. This is not a bit.
No, I did not take it as one.
Terrence Generico is a real human being who lives in Boston, an older guy. And when we bought this house in Maine, the fulfillment of my life's lifelong dream of owning a house in Maine. My wife had a lifelong dream of owning a house in Maine, and because
she grew up going to Maine every summer,
and she has a lot of family there, and she loves it more than any other place or person on earth, including myself. And so we were able to make this happen. And it's been fantastic. And that was just a couple of years ago. And we had just moved into the house, and we had a real mosquito problem outside, and we had no furniture. So the first summer in Maine, we spent a lot of time in the kitchen leaning against a counter because we didn't have anything to sit on. And one day a little knock came at the door, and that was the knock. And there was, that reminds me of Bert and I can tell you about that later. The sound effect comedy of Bert and I, famous Maine humorists. Act.
Okay. All right.
We may not get there.
We may get there very soon.
That's
Generico calling.
Hang on, I'm doing my Bert and I.
Sure.
That with a knock. Yeah, it's inexplicable. That's comedy in Maine. Anyway, it was Terrence Generico coming by to invite us to have a cocktail with him and the other neighbors on the road.
Very nice.
At his house on the next property over, and we were in the woods, and we agreed that we would do this, and because I felt like we were being summoned into a fairy tale.
Sure.
And we decided we would agree.
The magical name, Terrence Generico.
It was very much like Gandalf visiting Bilbo and saying, "It is time for you to step out onto the path,
right,
and go on this journey with me." Because he really did sort of appear out of nowhere. Like we were just there leaning against the counter, and then that with a knock.
Did you get scared that it was the strangers?
I've been scared of the strangers since long before the strangers.
Did Terrence Generico have a burlap sack on his head?
It was a weird choice for a neighborly greeting.
What a prank to do.
No,
that.
Terrence Generico, he is a wonderful man. I'm sad he is no longer our neighbor because he was an older guy, who long since retired. He had been a cooking instructor in Boston.
Oh, wow.
And he still taught cooking out of his house in Maine, his tiny little non-winterized cottage. And he wore seersucker shorts, and his shirt was great, and his white hair was curly. And he had a Brooks Brothers shirt that was tucked into his seersucker shorts.
Absolutely.
And he was just a gentleman of a certain age who seemed to have no family in the world. And I shall make. So we said, well, let's go. Let us follow this woodland creature to his other hobbit hole. And so we walked through the woods, and literally, I had not seen, like, his house was, I could reach out and touch it from my own house, but it felt like I had never seen it before. It felt like a magic gingerbread house in the middle of the woods. And inside were packed all of our neighbors. And as soon as the door opened, they all turned to the door and the sunlight hit them. And I'm like, it's a pack of vampires. This is not a fantasy novel. It is a horror novel.
Did they all start hissing?
They did. No, they were there. We love them. We've come to know them very well. But they are older than we are. and you know, they stared at our children as though they had not seen such a thing for a long time,
Right.
with a mix of affection and confusion, as though we had suddenly magically produced their own childhood dolls. And they're like, "Oh, we know, I remember you. I thought we burned you when Scarlet Fever came."
Tell me about this. Sorry.
No, but anyway, that was the moment that I realized, oh, I am no longer young. These are my people. These are middle-aged to older people, and it is time for me to join them.
Right.
My children went screaming back to the house, but I sat down, and Terrence Generico handed me his version of a martini, which was an empty jelly jar full of gin. And I'm like, I'm going to like it here.
Now tell me about this sound effects comedy guy.
Oh, yeah. So
This is like I feel like you've told me about this before. There, you can get in Maine. You can get these tapes, like at the gas station or something.
yes.
Yeah.
At every gas station, well, certainly every souvenir shop, you will see a Bert and I stand.
Now, Burton I.
Excuse
That's
me,
the name?
Bert and
I.
which is neither. It is not a duo.
Right.
And the person who does the storytelling is not named Bert.
But he would be the I. Does he ever address Bert in the way that Jim Varney used to talk to Vern?
No, there's never. Well, yes, there is, right? Because he does. So Bert and I are a series of stories that are told, originally told by a guy named Marshall Dodge, a non-Mainer that he had collected with his friend Robert Bryan from Maine storytellers, and then recorded them in the early 70s, and they were resoundingly popular.
In the 70s, really?
In the 70s, resoundingly popular.
Like all over the place.
Definitely in New England. And by New England, I mean Maine.
So,
Very,
not all over the
but
place.
so lasting that you would see them in every Maine souvenir stand. Now,
Right.
Maine humor is a very specific kind of arguable comedy that involves dudes telling stories about Mainers telling non-Mainers how they can't get to certain places.
Right.
Or tall tales about escaping from drowning or running away from a bear.
Okay.
And Marshall Dodge upped the game with Bert and I. And he would tell these stories about there were stories of these two lobstermen, I, who was the narrator, and Bert, who was his sternman.
Right.
And he would tell these like a typical the number one Bert and I story, which is to say the first of the many, and it's still the best as far as I'm concerned. Number one with a meat bullet.
Sure.
Is a story about how Bert and I went down to the dock to start up the Bluebird, which is their lobster boat. They went out to go lobstering. They got trapped in fog, got hit by a larger boat, and did not drown. The end.
But now there's many twists and turns along the way.
Well, it's not. No, not very much. I just told you the whole story. It's all in the telling, Paul.
Right.
And the telling involves a flinty down east accent and various impersonations of lobster boat motors formed by mouth manipulation and spit that my wife finds to be profoundly unnerving and gross.
Oh, okay.
So just to give you a little taste of this is my imitation
Sure.
of Marshall Dodge's non-Mainer imitation of a Mainer telling a story.
Okay.
Bert and I went down to the dock about 5 a.m. I asked Bert to start up I messed it up. I asked Bert to start up the Bluebird. Start up the Bluebird, Bert. Sour.
Oh.
Sour.
No.
Sour. That with the Bluebird. And on from there.
So he identifies the sound you just heard. Okay. So anytime there's a sound effect, he will say that was the sound. This is what that sound was.
Old Breezy Frog buoy started sounding up across the fog. That were Breezy Frog. I'm telling you, this thing you've never heard before,
Yeah.
that is an uncanny impersonation.
I have no doubt.
Yeah, that's the best I've ever given of my Bert and I impersonation. And the thing of it is that Marshall Dodge is actually an amazing storyteller. He died young. He was hit on his bicycle in Hawaii and died at the age of 46.
Jesus.
I know, it's a terrible, dark story. But he, like I, went to Yale University, and that's where he met Robert Bryan, his collaborator in this project. And I think Robert Bryan had spent some time in Maine, but Marshall Dodge really hadn't spent any. And they developed these stories based on stuff that Robert Bryan remembered, I think, and then recorded them, and they became the national humor, or the very specific state humorists of Maine. And I would go every time my wife would drag me up to Maine. I would go and stand and just goggle at the relatively large section of Maine humor.
Right.
Like, how are these people making a living doing just this, only this? Marshall Dodge has been dead for years, but they're still plying books and cassettes and CDs and everything else. And no matter where I was in my career, whether I was a magazine writer or a book writer or sometimes on television person or a humor writer, anytime I felt any anxiety about what I was doing, I would go into the Maine humor section and look at it and say, well, at least I'm not that. At least I'm not a middle-aged man from Yale peddling bogus stories about Maine.
Do you know what here's the difference between you and me, perhaps, is that I would look at that and say, well, if I have to, I could always do that.
Well, and that's obviously the choice that I made.
Yeah. Is your book, Vacation Land, in any Maine humor sections?
It should be. It is a book of humorous essays.
Maine is like the fifth character in the book.
Yeah, I know, right? Thank you for saying so.
Of course. You got to
Thank
get
you for reading it.
Of course.
It's called Vacation Land, True Stories from Painful Beaches. It is a series of true stories from my life, not fake fiction, not fake facts like I used to do. Now this is real.
That's right.
Real sincere stuff. And very much like Maine humor. Some of it's funny, but most of it's like, yeah.
Well, John,
and I should hope, but there's the place where it will not be stocked is the place where I would always stop to see the Maine humor section. That's Perry's Nut House in Belfast, Maine. By all means, go and check it out. But I do not think I will ever be welcome there anymore because of what I say about them in the book and about why their fudge looks like human feces.
Yeah, I mean, you fucking take them down in this book.
Did they have it coming? No. Are they just a family business struggling to get by? Of course they are. Did they need some smarty pants from away to come in and tell the world that fudge looks like feces? Look, we all know that it does. I'm just saying what everyone else is thinking.
That's right.
That is the longest and best tradition of humor.
There you go. Punching down the John Hodgman tradition. John, thank you for being here. Listen, where can people find you online should they wish to find you and should you wish to be found?
I am, my website is johnhodgman.com and I'll be touring Vacation Land. When will this be coming out, do you think?
I'm about to tell you. This will be released. Are you ready for this?
I am.
December 18th.
December 18th.
That's right.
So my book tour has been completed.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. It was a resounding success.
Of course it was.
But if you would like to purchase Vacation Land as a last-minute holiday gift, you can go to bit.ly/painfulbeaches. That's all one word, and all your online shopping links are there. And if you'd like to learn more about me, John Hodgman, I'm at johnhodgman.com or at Hodgman on Twitter or Hodgmania on Facebook.
There you go.
I have to use.
Vacation Land. It's available for holiday time. Stuff it in a stocking or disappoint a Jewish child in a different way this time.
That were the plug.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a break. When we return, we're going to meet our improvisers. If you are looking to take your podcast listening to the next level, check out Stitcher Premium. They have a great holiday deal going on for a limited time that you will not want to miss. Get 30% off Stitcher Premium when you go to stitcher.com/premium and use promo code JINGLEFUN. Just jingle, not fun. I was commenting fun because of the word jingle, which is a fun word and there's no denying it. Shut up. Stitcher Premium gives you access to hundreds of exclusive shows, bonus episodes, and comedy albums. You can listen to the latest season of Wild Horses with Lauren Lapkus, Stephanie Allen, Aaron Whitehead, and Mary Holland. I love this show, and I listen to it. I listen to every episode. Lauren Lapkus is always surprised. They sit down in front of a live audience and have a hilarious conversation with celebrity guests like Natasha Lyonne, Karen Kilgariff, Georgia Hardstark, and Conan O'Brien. Then they do improv. I've been on the show even, and it's been one of the great joys of my life. That one was not recorded. It just lives in the memories of those who were there and me. Try it out for yourself. Go to Stitcher.com/premium and use promo code JINGLE for 30% off. Welcome back, everybody, to Spontaneanation. It is time to meet our friends from the land of make pretense. It's up to you. Wherever you're more comfortable. Guys, you don't even understand what's happening here. We communicate sometimes without sound. Although only one of us does. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to welcome back to the show, making your second appearance, and I hope not the last. Please welcome back to the show, the very funny Nwodim. How are you, Ego?
Great. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me. I am thrilled. I am. I really am.
Ego, do you know your neighbors?
Oh, gosh. I do know my neighbor is my landlord.
Oh,
I've
no.
lived in this place for 7 years. I know him. He's great. Steve. I know his last name, but I will not share it. Yeah, he's great. And his kids live with them. They're grown, but they live there still. That's wonderful. It's a great familial unit. Then we've got some New Yorkers on the west side of the street.
Sure.
And like kind of a sort of frat. I don't know that they're in a frat, these boys, but they seem like they are. Yeah. But I know them all.
We used to, my wife and I's last place, we lived next door to our landlord. We shared a wall with him.
Yeah.
And sometimes his living room was the wall up against our bedroom. And so a lot of times he would fall asleep with the TV on. And it would be the noise of the TV and his prodigious snoring.
Oh.
It was really incredible.
Oh, man.
And I would bang on the wall, and then the next day he would say to me, "Hey, you don't have to bang on the wall. Just like call me or whatever." And I'm like, "I tried to do that." You were sleeping through everything.
Yeah. And he didn't see the missed calls either.
That's exactly.
He was fucking with you. I think he was fucking with you guys.
Why would he do it? Do you think he was pretending to snore?
What if someone spent all night pretending to snore? They hated you that much that they didn't sleep at all the whole night. They just pretended to snore. Paul, you must be a terrible neighbor.
I'm the worst.
Okay.
I'm the worst.
Knowing is half the battle.
Well, I mean, I like to do what I like to do. And
when you like to do it,
and
right?
when I like to do it.
Yeah, I get
and
that.
I want other people to adjust to me.
It sounds like magic.
Have you had bad neighbors in the past?
Yes. You know, I lived in this like mega complex downtown my senior year of college. And the guy who lived downstairs would play music all the time. I don't know if he made music or what. One time I ran into him in the elevator and I was like, I hate you. Because I mean, like, so bad that it, like the bass would be like shaking our floor.
Yeah.
And I would like jump up and down to be like, well, is this annoying to you? But I don't even think he was very nice to me in the elevator. And gosh, to this day, I was like, I should have told him, what do you do? Dude, your music is too loud.
Did you ever ask him to turn it down ever or no?
No. Why didn't I? I don't, because I'm like, you gotta know how loud it was so obnoxious.
It shouldn't even be a thing that you should have to be told.
Yeah, I have a problem with that though too. I won't have a conversation with someone about a thing that I'm like, this is a given. Why do we don't have to talk about this, right?
Right.
Anyway, that's my problem. These are my problems in life.
We had that same place where my wife and I lived. We had neighbors across the street that were young people who would entertain a lot, and they would open the door to their house and blare the music.
Oh, good.
So that you could have the music indoors and outdoors.
Yeah, great.
And so I was mortified that I was the old man in my pajamas going across the street to say, hey, could you turn the music down? And I would say, like, guys, hey, guys, I know you're having fun. Can you just close the door? You don't even have to turn the music down. Just close the door.
That's the guy who's trying to be cool about it. But honestly, you're a neighborhood hero because I'm sure you're doing what everyone else wanted to do.
I couldn't believe that nobody else ever told them. It was insane.
It's that thing, that woman got killed and no one called the cops in New York. It's like someone else will do it.
Do you know I heard that was debunked? That was actually not true.
Yes, I did. I
did you hear
watched
this
a movie
too?
on a plane about that. Yeah, on my flight from New York recently about how that's not a real thing.
I remember one guy was very upset. He was like, everybody called the cops.
He's like, we all called the cops. And then someone were like, and then they're like, 30 people heard it. And then several of them were like, I didn't hear it. And then the ones who did call the cops.
Exactly.
So
it's a different psychology.
Yeah.
Listen, if you hear something, call someone. All right. Ego, I'm going to look across from you.
Okay.
To a person who's never been on the show.
I'm looking as well.
I wasn't prepared for her to be making the cutesy face she was making. She's never been on the show before. I got to perform with her for the first time recently at the Detroit Improv Festival. She's long been one of my favorites to watch. And so now this is all coming together. Thrilled to have her on the show for the very first time. Please welcome Jaime Moyer.
Hello. I'm so happy to be here. This is so exciting.
It's exciting to
when
have
I came
you.
in the office, I'm like, hi. Everyone at their desk at Earwolf jumped 80 feet in the air. I'm like, hello. They're all like, Jesus Christ.
I would expect nothing less. Jaime, you and I met, I think the first time we met was maybe I.O. in Hollywood.
Yes.
And I saw you with the 313, which also includes many of our friends, Mark Evan Jackson and Nancy Hayden and Sam Richardson, and it was a big pile of people.
Oh yeah.
It was a
packed house.
It was a packed house. And I got to do a show with you this past Detroit Improv Festival called Mama's Boy, which was so much fun.
You were great. That was a blast.
Thank you.
I love
so
going
much
home.
fun.
I love going to Detroit.
Are you born and raised in Detroit?
Born and raised in the city, baby. Mm-hmm. And I go to that festival every year. It's such, I look forward to it all year long.
I'll bet.
And I go back several times throughout the year because I'm an only child. And so I basically go home for the opening of an envelope. I'm going home on Saturday to see my mom directed Midsummer Night's Dream. My mom's an actress and a director, and she directed a production of Midsummer Night's Dream. So I'm going home for a week.
Has she always done that?
Yeah.
And did you work with her in any capacity when you were a kid?
Yeah. Yeah.
You were in her shows.
We were in shows together. She's played my mother in a show. I played her mother in a show. My mom is literally like the cutest little cherub you've ever seen in your life. She's adorable.
And she's still doing it.
Still doing it. Now at the collegiate level, which is nice because no budget. You know what I mean? It's not like when she had a small not-for-profit, it was like, Jaime, I need to borrow some of your outfits for like what? But now she's got budget, baby.
What about a drawing of the ocean?
Yes, exactly. I noticed my drawings are on the set. Yay!
And when did you come to Los Angeles?
2009.
Okay, and you had studied at Second City?
I did.
Detroit?
I was at Second City, Detroit, in the tour coat, and the main stage in Detroit.
Yeah, Mark has told me about that time, and it was how long was it altogether, the Detroit company?
Well, it was 10 years. I think it was 93 to 03, then a reopen in 05 to 07.
Right.
So I was in the tour co in the latter part of 03, 2, 3, somewhere in there. And then on the main stage later. So pink slip twice, baby.
For the same job.
So nice they pink slipped you twice.
And at the end, it was on top of like a sports bar or something?
Yeah, the first one was at first it was their complex, but at the end it was Hockey Town with a little theater in the back. Because of the the Red Wings, and I think we were owned by the same people, so it was like Hockey Town, and there's this little comedy thing if you go down this small corridor.
Where I'm sure you didn't hear any sound from the bar, right? When you were trying to do the show?
The hundreds of thousands they must have spent on soundproofing. Oh, the audience we met in the lobby were never tainted by the audience of the Red Wings games.
You're just like doing a show and then you're hearing cheers
it's like
for
boom, boom,
something else. Yeah.
Boom, boom, cack. Money on the burger. Boom, boom, cack. Boom, boom, cack.
And did you have any weird neighbors, Jamie?
I have always, knock on wood, because I'm still fairly young, enjoyed my neighbors.
There you
I like
go.
my neighbors.
That's great.
When I was in Detroit, I actually lived in a little enclave. It was a mile by a mile and a half city called Hamtramck, which many of our friends have lived in the past, smack dab in the middle of Detroit. And I had a downstairs neighbor and her young son, and we became so close that we would like hang up each other's dainties at the dryer, you know,
Right.
and we would talk and call each other back and forth. And out here, we have a great neighbor. We have great neighbors. I'm always the hi, how are you? But we have one neighbor. We were brought together by tragedy, not horrible tragedy, but there was a big bad storm, probably around like 11 or 12. It knocked all the power out, and she had gone outside to bring some stuff in, and her door closed. And so she came over, and then we became very friendly because she was there for like a couple hours waiting to try to get a hold of her boyfriend to let him in. The same night, we got a dog. Another neighbor had been walking in the neighborhood, found this stray, tried to find its parents, did all the stuff, and her husband said no more. So she showed up that same night for this dog's audition to be our dog, and he passed. So all that happened on the same night. He actually had not a great audition. She brought him over in a Santa outfit, but he like immediately pissed. And, he like peed on the floor like right away, and he was trying to hump our elderly dog, and it was like, I don't know about this dog, but he's still there to this day, baby. He made it. All that happened on the same night I met my neighbor.
Does he still have his Santa outfit?
No, we have removed the outfit. Now he won't wear clothes anymore. He used to like it. Then one time he put a sweater on and we laughed at him a little too heartily.
No.
And he's never recovered. I'm dead serious. He gets very sensitive now.
No.
We laughed at him. It was too tight. It still tickles me to this day. But it was too tight, and now he's like very unhappy.
That's got to be because pets spend much of their lives being laughed at by people.
Yeah.
And so that really did cross a line.
It crossed a big line.
Wow. Well, I hate to end the segment on this note, but
he's okay. He's as spoiled as an animal can be.
There you go.
He sleeps in beds. He gets carried around. Don't worry about it. He's fine.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take a break. When we come back, we will reveal the location for our improv provided to us by John Hodgman, and then we're going to do that improv. All this and nothing else when Spontaneanation returns. Spontaneans, don't forget, January 12th, 13th, and 14th, I will be in San Francisco for the San Francisco Sketch Fest, doing a bunch of shows. All tickets are available. All the links are up at paulftompkins.com/live. But we're doing a live Spontaneanation with Eugene Cordero, Tawny Newsome, Little Janet Varney, and our special guest, Mr. Tony Hale. That's right. Tickets are almost gone for that one before we even mentioned who the guest was. Also, come see Super Ego Forgotten Classics live. Only the second time we've ever done this show live. We're going to do Lady Chatterley's Lover. We're going to improvise what we think that book that none of us has ever read is about. And I'll be doing Work Juice Improv with a lot of, it's all my pals from the Thrilling Adventure Hour, a lot of your pals from this show, including, let's see, Craig Kakowski, Kakatakers, Mark Gagliardi, Hal Lublin, Mark Evan Jackson, Annie Savage, and Little Janet Varney. That's going to be a lot of fun. Still some tickets left for that one, but they're going fast. And on Sunday, and then Sunday, a live reading of some excerpts from the book Stinker Lets Loose. That features me, John Hamm, a bunch of other people that I forget right now, but all the info is up at paulftompkins.com/live. Come out to those shows if you're going to be in the San Francisco area. That is January 12th, 13th, and 14th. San Francisco, did you driven or did you flew? Oh, welcome back, everybody. Listen, Put your pets in costumes. Put it on Instagram. I want to see it. I'll never not like it. It's the best. Babies and pets in costumes at any holiday. Absolutely. As we record this, it's October, and I can't tell you how few pictures of babies in pumpkin patches I have seen. This is bullshit. Step it up, Instagram. Step it up. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to do our improv. We are going to reveal the location for that improv provided to us by our guest, John Hodgman. But first, just so's you know, in order to aid us in our storytelling, we use 3 sound effects that move us about in time. Let's say we need to travel into the past for some reason. Someone's having a memory. We're learning how something came to be. Anytime we have a flashback of any kind, you will hear this flashback sound effect. Let's say we want to return from the flashback back to where we were, or anytime we want to go into the future, we'll use this flash forward sound effect. Now, this final sound moves us only in space, not in time. Let's say we're in a scene, we want to find out what's happening at the exact same moment somewhere else. We'll use this meanwhile sound effect. Past. Present. Future. Everyone gets it. And now, it is time to reveal the location provided to us by John Hodgman. And that location is Perry's Nut House in Belfast, Maine. Perry's Nut House in Belfast, Maine. We take you now to Perry's Nut House in Belfast, Maine.
I just want to get a lot of presents for everyone, and this place looks just right.
They've only got cashews and almonds. What are we going to do with that?
Well, look at the cute bow. I mean, we've been in Belfast, Maine for a week. We've got to bring back some good stuff.
Deborah, how about some seafood?
Now, let's just think about this for 1 second. The lobster's been delicious, but I'm not taking that on the plane.
Fine. Let's get an assortment of cashews and almonds.
Hello, outsiders. How may I help you?
Well, we want to buy some presents.
Oh, presents. For other outsiders, I presume.
Yes, we want to take them back with us to the Midwest.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we have a certain way of doing things around here when it comes to selling things from the store for people to take out and own.
Well, just nuts, right? Almonds, cashews.
That's what we sell, yes.
What's behind this curtain?
Oh, behind the curtain.
Yes, what's back there?
You're interested in what's behind the curtain?
Deborah.
I just, you know what? When I see something, I have to ask. Ask, tell.
Oh, gosh.
Question.
Deborah. Okay.
All right. I'm honor bound to tell you what's behind the curtain if you ask. I usually hope that people don't ask, but everyone does ask. I think the curtain's probably the wrong color. It's very bright and catches the eye. And
yes, are those are reflectors on it?
There are reflectors.
Yeah.
Yes, it's true. And of course, the big glitter spelling out, ask me about the curtain.
About the curtain.
That was a mistake.
No.
Behind this curtain lies a whole new inventory of souvenirs and
What kind of
gewgaws,
souvenirs?
knickknacks.
Sir, pardon me. My name is Tammy. I'm all about efficiency, and we do have a flight to catch back to the Midwest.
Oh, going on an airplane.
Yes, yeah, we are going to be going. So, if you could reveal to my friend Debbie here what you got behind the curtain, that'd be amazing.
Tammy's here because she's going through a terrible divorce.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yes.
Tammy, Deborah, my name is Randy Specifico.
Randy Specifico.
I'm happy to show you
Specifico.
what's behind the curtain. Here we go. Just as you can see, not just nuts back here. It's all manner of things.
Oh my gosh, it's like being in a playhouse of depravity.
Yeah.
What are oh my God.
Not for the faint of heart.
Don't touch that,
Oh.
Deborah.
Oh, I can't help myself.
That's very old, so be careful.
It's a box. I've got to open it. Ask,
Oh,
tell, do.
Debbie, if you open that box, I can't be responsible for what happens.
Well, this is a conundrum.
Well, we have a flight to catch in 3 hours.
Well, I've told you.
3 hours?
Yeah, 3 hours. She's
Plenty of time.
This is part of the reason she's going through the divorce. She's a little too rigid about being certain places at certain times.
No, Jeremy was having an affair, okay? I said it.
Why are you so mad? I'm like 5 minutes late.
Jeremy, do you know what can happen in 5 minutes? We don't know what the traffic is going to be like here in the Midwest. Oh. We don't know.
Look, Tammy, I've lived in the Midwest all my life. Traffic is traffic. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, you can be on time. You can be on time, Jeremy.
Well, you know what?
You can get your things together. I told you we needed to leave the house at 5:22 p.m.
Okay, well, it's 5:27. I mean, what's the big deal?
Can you hear me? I'm in this guy's closet. Can you come pick me up? Can you hear me, Danielle? I need you to come pick me up.
Girl, what? You're in some guy's closet?
Yes, that guy Jeremy I met at Futter's last night.
You're in his closet?
I'm in his closet. It smells like shoes in here, and his wife's in there, and I didn't even know he was married.
Okay, girl. Okay. Do you have an Addy? An
Addy? Yes, I have an Addy. For a second, I thought you were talking about a new app.
No.
I have an Addy.
Okay, what's the address?
43 Miltons.
43 Miltons?
Not Milton, Miltons.
Miltons. Miltins? Or
yes,
okay.
Just west of the Midwest.
Okay, got it. Okay, girl,
I mean, what's the big deal? I look down at my phone, I open up Addie, I see that I have plenty of time to get here.
Our son is going to be playing the clarinet tonight for the first time, and you don't seem to give a flying fuck,
Well, I mean, it's not my favorite instrument.
You wanted to play the trombone. We get it, okay? Get over it.
It's a lot cooler.
Oh, be a dad.
He's got jewelry in a shoebox.
Oh, girl, maybe get some.
I deserve this.
Yes, you do.
I deserve this.
Especially after I treated you.
Yes.
He's got a wife?
He's got a wife.
Oh, girl, what's in there? What's in there?
It looks like a couple of Rolex watches, some rings, nose rings, belly rings, toe rings.
Stuff them in your orifices.
Why don't I just put them in my purse, girl?
Okay, well,
I don't have to put them in my orifices.
Because people always check purses if on your way out.
All right, let me just get my watch and my rings.
Well, I need to do my makeup over.
Well, can you do your makeup at the kitchen sink rather than going in the bedroom?
I want you to see what your tardiness has caused. Watch me do my makeup over.
Okay.
Watch me.
All right.
Okay, now I do the makeup remover.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna just get some eyeshadow.
Right. Okay.
You know what? Just go. You don't seem interested. Just go get your stuff.
All right. Yeah, I'm just gonna go in the bedroom. All right.
Okay, go get yours.
Hey.
What are you doing, Jeremy?
What are you doing? You gotta get out of here.
Where am I supposed to go? How am I supposed to get out of here?
Well, I mean, my wife's putting on her makeup.
Kiss me.
When she's
Kiss me.
All right.
You're such a
Listen.
Should I hang up?
Are you on the phone?
Yes, I'm talking to my best friend.
Should I hang up?
No, listen.
Tell her to hang up.
Why? She knows everything about me.
But I got to get you out of here before my wife.
All right, put me under a cloak.
Okay.
Put me under like a cloak.
Get under this cloak. Hey, honey, you keep doing your makeup. I'm just going to get this cloak out of here.
What are you going to do with the cloak?
I'm just going to, you know what? It's got bed bugs.
There was a girl under that cloak.
No, I heard the story.
Yeah, nightmare.
Yeah, you know what? That's fine. We're here. What's behind?
I'm going to open this box.
Yeah,
all right, you've been warned.
I wouldn't open that box if I were you.
Oh, it's Bert.
Yes, and also I.
That's right. It's the 2-in-1.
Now, why are you showing them our new inventory?
Well, they asked, you know the rule about the curtain.
I take a lot of self-help classes, and it says if you want something, ask for it. So I said, can we come back here?
That's not the way in Maine.
Oh.
In Maine, we just don't ask.
We've never asked each other a question, have we?
Until now.
Oops.
You two should get to know each other better.
Yeah, Mr. Specifico, what's your relation to Bert?
Bert and I.
Bert and I and Mr.
I.
Specific. Bert and I and I.
Bert and I and I.
Okay, so Bert's name is Bert and I?
I'm Bert and I.
Well, Bert's name is Bert, and then I is I.
So when I
Bert
speak of
and
myself, I say I.
Oh, Okay, yeah, that
I,
that
meaning
tracks.
Bert and I, have known you, meaning Mr. Specifico.
But it could be EYE like your eyeball and UEWE like the animal.
Well, it could also,
This is what language is.
it could also be AY, like I.
Okay, forget. I don't even. What's in the box? What's in the box?
Well, go on, open it if you're going to be a nosy outsider.
Well, I will.
Oh, here they come.
Birds!
I told you.
Dead bird.
It's a classic
Oh,
gift of Maine.
Oh, no. The birds died. I think they've been in there too long.
We had the idea that we would put some crows in a box.
Yeah, and then when people open the box, the crows fly out, and it's quite an effect.
4 and 20 blackbirds, we called it.
Yeah, but without the pie.
Without the
No.
pie.
It's
Well, this is like setting off.
gluten-free.
We found the pie wouldn't keep.
Setting off a doves at a wedding or something.
Okay,
Well, that's what
exactly.
we do in the Midwest.
Okay, Deborah, Mr. Specifico, Bart, and I hate to be a party pooper, but I don't think you're going to buy dead birds to take back to anyone back home.
Now
okay?
listen here, why are you in such a rush?
We have a flight to catch in 2 hours and 55 minutes.
Where are you going?
Back to the Midwest.
Well, you can get there from here. What you should do is go to the airport.
Tammy, he's wearing several sweaters.
Why do you?
You have so many sweaters.
Are you sick?
I have a chill.
Okay, it's middle of summer.
There's always a chill here in Maine.
In Maine, it's always
We've
chilly.
enjoyed the lobster immensely.
Oh, the lobster was delicious. That was great.
Can I sample this fudge?
Oh,
Well,
we don't usually give out samples.
Well, then there was no fudge out in the front of the shop.
Just cashews,
and almonds.
Well, we used to have fudge out there, but then some outsider said some mean things about it. So we hide the fudge now.
Look at this fudge. This looks like poop. Family, gather round.
I beg your pardon?
Your fudge looks like poop.
Hey,
Looks like feces.
it looks like dog poop. Daddy, it does
That
look
is
like
right.
dog poop.
I never noticed it before. You're absolutely correct. Ever since then, we keep it in the back room.
Oh, that's a sad tale.
So you want the birds or not?
I want the birds and the fudge.
You're gonna buy birds?
I gotta get a lot of stuff
They're
for the
dead
office.
birds.
Every time someone goes out of town, they always bring back a bunch of stuff for everybody. It's a lot of pressure.
Deborah, no one wants dead birds.
They
No one
don't-
wants dead birds.
They don't have shot glasses, and you know I'm not gonna buy anything at the airport because it's so expensive.
But it's duty free. Okay.
I'm writing it up. 4 and 20 blackbirds in airproof box.
And
One.
Fudge.
Fudge.
Yeah.
We have these flavors.
And I'll take a bag of cashews, please.
Cashews, 1 bag cashews, and 1,000 pounds fudge.
What?
That's how we sell it.
We only sell it in blocks of 1,000 pounds.
Well, we're flying on Spirit. I've only got the one bag.
I'm afraid you're going to have to check it.
Oh,
Is this worth it?
here we go.
You're gonna have to pay $100.
This is what happens.
Now, here's the thing. That can fit in your carry-on because our fudge is very dense.
Dense fudge.
Regular sized, but it it weighs 1,000
Your
pounds.
clothes will get ruined. Deborah, your clothes.
It could be like a home iron job.
We also sell fudge cases.
Okay.
Airproof fudge cases. You fit the fudge in amidst the bodies of the swans.
What?
Yes.
We're going to throw in a few swans for you.
Oh, this is nice.
Okay. The swans are live? Yeah, I suppose, right?
For a time.
Been alive 4 times?
These swans have been alive 4 times.
Oh, wow.
They're
Wow,
the eternal swans.
Like a cat has
9 lives.
lives. And the swans, they become incorporeal spirits who are reborn again 4 times over.
Birds are alive again. Everything around here lives 4 lifetimes.
Mr. Specifico,
Yes, Tammy.
I mean, I'm here now. We're here. I do have a question for you. Have you always lived here? Have you always run this shop here?
4 times. I've lived here and died. Then Mr. Specifico each time buries me in the old graveyard and I come back to life. And each time I'm wearing another sweater. Maine is an uncanny place.
What Bert and I doesn't know is that every time he dies, I die of a broken heart. Then I come back to life before he does. I bury him, and then I dig him back up again when it's time.
Now, I did not know that because I never asked.
And I never would have told you if you had.
Because no questions, only broken hearts.
Well, that is the saddest thing I've ever heard.
Have you ever heard the sound of a broken heart?
Oh, have I heard the sound of a broken heart beating right in my chest.
Oh, Bert and I. Oh, boy. I don't know.
Oh, I know that sound.
Boom!
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It sounded more like a fax machine at the end. The old dial-up sound.
That were the heart or the fax.
Well,
I would know.
you two are an inspiration. Your friendship and the time it takes to go, uncover the burial, dig up, cry over your friend 4 times over. It touches me.
Well, it's just the way we do things here.
Tammy, I love you.
Deborah,
I would do
love
that
you
for
too.
you.
Thank you.
I
Thank
would
you so-
bury you,
Okay, I don't like
sing
I don't like
outside of your dead body's grave.
Deborah, don't speak of me as though I'm dead. Okay,
You're
Please.
dead now. You're dead in the
No,
ground,
no,
and
no.
I'm alive.
Deborah.
I'm alive outside of the grave.
Deborah, please.
I can breathe and I can move my arms. I'm not confined by
I
a
am still
coffin.
alive. I am still alive. Okay.
She seems like she's alive.
As long as I'm alive, I want to get to the airport on time. Okay.
Well, now, I think you missed your flight. Time has passed a little more quickly here in Maine than it does other places.
He's right. Why?
Even though it feels like it passes very slowly.
The only way to get to the airport now would be by boat. The roads, there's no way we'll make it. I'm mapping it out on my Addy app.
I mean, at this point.
It is the fastest form of transportation not on Earth.
That's right.
Oh my gosh!
It's on the waves.
Spirit's gonna make us buy all new tickets. In fact, they'll probably make us each buy 2 new tickets for being late.
Well, let me get out my purse. I've got to pay for these items, and we've got to find someone who's got a boat.
Well, now, we've got a boat.
What?
We've got a Jimmy Steel pea pod out back of the shop.
My peas are your favorite vegetable.
I do like peas. Oh, okay. Well, let's go. Let's
This
go.
is an adventure.
Let's
This
go.
is fun.
Finish
All
this
right.
transaction. Finish the transaction. Let's go.
Okay, what's the total here? Come on.
$250,000.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah.
I only have about 100,000 in my savings account. This is not going to happen. All right, take off
Well,
the
then
dead
I'm-
birds. Take off the birds. I just want the fudge. Case of fudge.
$75.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go, and that's 80.
All right.
All right.
I
Yeah.
suppose you'll be wanting change.
Yes, I'd like 5 back, please.
1, 2.
Oh, we're in a rush.
Why is he counting toothpicks?
Oh, I don't know. Where?
I lay the toothpicks out so I remember how many dollars to give you back.
Oh,
And
that
they're-
makes perfect
they're
sense.
Used.
Well, yeah, waste not, want not.
Oh my God. Okay, are we good
Where
here?
was I? 1,
You don't need $5,
2,
Deborah.
3, 4, 5. Was it 5?
Yes, please.
All right, turn over to the register here. Okay, open
my
up the
God.
register. Look back
hummingbird
at the
just flew out of the
toothpicks
room.
for reference.
Hummingbird just flew out of that register. Did you see?
Fine, I ducked.
This nut house is
All right, get
nutty.
out $1. Recheck with the toothpicks. Gonna need some more. Another $1. 3 to go. Okay, $3 down to 2.
This may seem strange to you, but it's actually a pretty typical commercial exchange in the state of Maine.
Well, there you go. $5.
That were the change.
Thank you. Oh, this boat is gorgeous.
Oh, I love it. It's lovely. I gotta say. Something serene about being on the water.
That's right, Tammy. You know what? You did the right thing. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you. Deborah. Is that
That
your
were Breezy Frog.
breezy frog?
Are you sure you both are okay with closing the shop down and coming with us?
Well, yes, we're at the end of our 4th live.
I've been trying to escape that cursed place for the past 4 lives.
Oh, my.
I hate retail.
I understand.
Uh-oh. It seems like we're stalled.
Oh,
And
Tammy,
here we
calm
are.
down.
Here we are.
Calm down, Tammy, please.
Ah!
Sometimes people run late.
I'm calm. This is me calm.
Uh-oh, bad news.
Uh-oh.
Oh, more bad news.
As we're reaching the end of our 4th cycle, 2 more must take our places. So it looks like you won't be going back to the Midwest after all.
No, you can't get there from here.
Have a son to take care of and a court hearing to get to.
Dad, you're the coolest.
Thanks, son.
Thanks for getting me out of that stupid clarinet bullshit. Is that okay if I say that?
Of course it is. I wish you'd curse more around me.
Hell, fuck yeah, Dad. Fucking hell, fuck.
You're a great son. We have a good time together.
Yeah, can we go to Froyo for din?
Breakfast, lunch, and din.
Hells yeah, fuck yeah, hell yeah.
Well, your son will just have to make do with his father.
Oh, God.
Take care of the shop, Tammy and Deborah.
Take care of Deborah, do you see what the...
They're going into the water.
You got us in... Should we save them?
Well, they're just walking so slowly. We barely left the dock.
Bert and I and Mr. Specifico went into the water.
What are they...
That were us drowning.
Well, if they're both dead...
They're dead. Look
At the
them.
same time, who's going to resurrect...
Well, hold on.
Oh,
The
God.
sweaters are keeping him afloat a little bit. He should shed some of that baggage.
Oh, my God.
Take off your sweater.
Please come for me, sweet release of death.
Oh, my God. Okay.
That were the sound of death not coming.
Deborah, can you please...
There's a metronome on this boat. Well, they're gone.
No.
This is it. Well, I guess we run the net house now.
Deborah, can you please call a luber?
Luber?
Yes.
That makes me think of lubricant. Oh, that's
That's
filthy.
not what that is. You know what it is. It's a car ride service.
Tammy, you heard what they said. We are net house owners now, and frankly, I'd like to expand. I think we should have 2 properties.
Hi, I just wanted to buy some souvenirs or stuff. Just some, maybe pack of nuts or
Make
something?
it quick, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Okay.
we've got cashews, we've got almonds.
And there's stuff back here.
Oh, behind that curtain?
They're supposed to ask.
Damn it, you're
they're
right.
supposed to ask.
I've done it again. You gotta ask. If you want something, ask for it.
And it all happened in a place called Spontaneanation. Jamie!
Yay!
Where can people find you? Should they wish to find you, and should you wish to be found?
You can find me on Twitter at JAIME _ Moyer. Now, there is a Jaime Moyer baseball player who is
That's not
really
you.
ruining my Google results. But
That's
you can find me
right.
JAIME _ Moyer and Jam Detroit on Instagram and performing weekly office hours and Mama's Boy at the Second City Hollywood and Heyday and Armando at IO West. And if this is December,
It is.
I'll be in Portland at the Portland Center Stage doing a holiday show.
Is it Twist Your Dickens?
It is.
Is Craig doing this?
He is. I can't wait to be reunited with him.
Listen, if you are in the Portland area, go see that show. I want to see this thing one of these days because it sounds like so much fun.
You should come.
Maybe I will. Maybe we'll make a little trip. All right, Ego, same things. Where can people find you? What do you want to plug?
You find me on the Twitter at Eggy _ boom.
Boom.
Find me on the gram at Eggy Boom, no underscore. Some woman named Esther Wilson used Eggy Boom on Twitter, so
How is that spelled so that I may...
EGGY.
E-G...
Underscore.
But underscore boom.
Boom.
BOOM as in Mary. And then on Instagram, no underscore.
That's right, Esther.
Yes, Esther Wilson, who hasn't tweeted ever.
That is always the way. Always.
He's never tweeted. Oh my gosh.
Esther.
So, catch me at UCB Theater on Mondays with my Herald Team Queen George. Catch me on the first Wednesday of every month with my mod sketch team at UCB, The New Deal.
Yay.
Yeah, we're having a fun time, guys. We're all having fun.
I mean, that is a good ad for those teams. Ladies and gentlemen, Eban Schletter. He is Eban Schletter on all the platforms. Go to ebanschletter.com and seek out Eban Schletter's non-spontaneation work because it is great. And why is it great? Because Eban Schletter is only the best. How do you spell Eban Schletter, you might ask? Well, I might tell you. It goes a little something like this. EBANSCHLETTER. As for me, well, I'll be at San Francisco Sketch Fest doing a whole bunch of shows that are not yet confirmed as of this recording, but rest assured, I will be there. I'll be doing a bunch of shows. I will come home with a cold. Thank you to Earwolf for hosting the podcast. Thank you to Engineer Ryan for engineering us all the way to the end of the show, which this is. Goodbye forever. Until next week, this is Paul F. Tompkins saying, Semper in Praesenti! Don't forget to check out Dr. Game Show right here on Earwolf. In each episode, hosts Joe Firestone and Manolo Moreno play listener-created games with their comedian friends and listener call-ins. Games like What's Your Primary Utensil, Rad Dad, and Sauce Boss. There's really no way an ad can express how crazy and fun this show is. You have to hear it. Listen and subscribe to Dr. Game Show on Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen. And follow Dr. Game Show on Facebook and Twitter so you can participate when they record episodes.
This has been an Earwolf production. Executive producers Scott Ackerman, Chris Bannon, Colin Anderson, and Paul F. Tompkins. For more media and content, go to earwolf.com.